specialized conducting tissues, generation and conduction of impulses in the heart. Briefly, I will just summarize it. Impulses generated at the SA node, conducted through the internal branches, reaches the AV junction. In the meantime, the internal branches will supply to the atrial musculature and cause the depolarization of the atrial musculature. At the AV junction, the conduction velocity is 0.05 meter per second. The impulses are slowed down. So there's a delay of impulses reaching the ventricle. The delay is about 0.07 to 0.1 second. This AV nodal delay is essential for the proper ventricular filling. It allows the atrial contraction to be complete before the ventricular depolarization starts. It allows proper ventricular filling. Then the impulses will be conducted through the bundle of his bundle branches to the through Purkinje fibers. Bundle branches, right bundle branch, left bundle branch. Right bundle branch will supply to the right endocardial surfaces. Left bundle branch will divide into left anterior fascicle and left posterior fascicle. Left posterior fascicle, anterior fascicle septal branches arises. It supplies the mid septal region of the left mid-ventricular septum. Just remember this point. This is important. And the Purkinje fibers will supply to the whole of the ventricles. Purkinje fibers has the highest conduction velocity, about 4 meters per second. So it supplies rapidly to the whole of the ventricles. So the whole ventricles can contract as a unit. I told you in the first class itself, they are functional sensitive. Atrial unit will contract as a single unit. Ventricles will contract as a single unit. For that, the impulse has to rapidly reach to the ventricles. Seconds, the impulses will reach across the ventricles and the ventricles will contract as a unit. This table we have seen last class. The conduction velocity per Purkinje fibers is 4 meters per second. Okay. Now, the atrial SA nodal rate, AV node and Purkinje fibers are potential pacemakers. When the heart contracts at the rate of SA node is generating impulses, it is called a sinus rhythm. If SA nodal impulses fail to reach the ventricles, AV node can generate impulse. Then if it generates impulse, then it's called as nodal rhythm. And sometimes AV nodal impulses are not able to reach the ventricles. Purkinje fibers can generate impulses called as idioventricular rhythm. If the ventricle contracts at the rate of which Purkinje fibers are generating, it is called as idioventricular rhythm. Now, there are conditions when the SA nodal impulses are not reaching the ventricles. AV node can generate impulses. Now, normally, in that case, the impulses are not generated immediately. It will take some time for AV node to generate impulses. It is because till that moment, AV node has been conducting impulse at a faster rate than its normal rate. It was the impulse rate of SA 70 to 80, but AV nodal rate is around 40 to 60. So it was driven at a much faster rate. So there is an overdrive suppression. So it will take some time to overcome this overdrive suppression. So there is a delay. During this period, normally the patient will experience fainting spells because the blood is not pumped by the ventricles, so the blood is not reaching the brain, so the patient might experience spells. Strokes. Normally the patient will recover when the AV node generates impulses and conducts the ventricle and ventricle starts contracting. Then we saw a brief history of ECG and we started with electrocardiogram. It's a graphical representation of electrical activity of heart during a single cardiac cycle. P wave corresponds to atrial depolarization, Q corresponds to ventricular depolarization, T wave ventricular repolarization. the sequence of excitation when atria gets depolarized, you have P wave. When ventricles get depolarized, you have Queyras complex. We'll look at it in more detail. Briefly, the importance of ECG. It is useful in the diagnosis of abnormality of rhythm, conduction defects, myocardial ischemia and infarction, ventricular hypertrophy, and abnormality due to changes in serum electrolytes. All these 5 we'll be looking in probably in the next class. We said that the heart is a generator, body is a volume conductor. Going back, sorry. So in today's class, what are the objectives? We need to understand that the heart is a dipole and how the ECG waves are formed. Brief history and importance we already seen. We'll also see it again. We'll classify the ECG leads. We'll look at Inton's triangle and we'll try to understand what this Inton's triangle is in importance. You need to draw a proper ECG and label them, identify the waves, segments, and intervals. We'll define the normal values for each of these, probably in the next class in detail. We'll try to cover the first 6 of them points today. Okay. Pardon me. Now, the electrical events, we know that it includes 2 parts, depolation and neutral. Now, if you consider this as a muscle fiber, which has a resting state, depolarized, and inside is negative with respect to outside, a positive state. Suppose there's a signal and depolarization starts spreading in this direction. The inner diagram is showing the depolarization. This black arrow shows you the electrical vector. Electrical vector always points from negative to positive. It's always in the direction of negative to positive. So when inside it becomes positive, this region will become negative, and this region is positive. So electrical vector will be in this direction. Okay. So when the depolarization is spreading in this direction, the electrical vector is also pointing in this direction. Now, when you're doing a recording, you have 2 electrodes, a positive electrode and a negative electrode, or a positive electrode and a reference electrode. Usually reference electrode considered 0 potential, and you have positive electrode, negative. So normally when we consider, we say the positive electrode is the active electrode, which is recording. Let us say I have a positive electrode to this end here. Please follow this cursor in this. So please follow the diagram. So positive electrode is toward this end of the. Can I have a pointer? Okay, if positive electrode is in this half and the negative electrode is in this end, so if the positive electrode is in this end, when the depolarization is spreading in this direction, the electrical vector is also in this direction. This active electrode will see that the electrical vector is coming towards it. It will give you an upward deflection. The negative electrode here is here. Okay, so it is not the one recording. Recording electrode is this one. If you have a positive electrode here and the negative electrode here, then if the electrical electrode is moving away from the positive electrode, it will give you a downward deflection. So the recording upward or downward will depend upon the direction of the electrical vector and the position of the recording electrode. Clear? the position of the recording electrode in the direction of the electrical vector. So if the depolarization is spreading in this direction and the recording electrode is here, you will get a positive deflection here. Okay. Now let us look. This figure is from Guyton. Let us say your depolarization wave is spreading in this direction. Electrical vector is the blue figure one here. This is the positive recording electrode. It will give you a positive deflection. Okay. Now, the repolarization is also occurring in the same direction. Okay, in this figure, the repolarization is occurring in the opposite direction. Just a little, I'll just put my mobile into vibration silent mode. It is ringing here. Sorry. Now the repolarization is taking place during the region which got depolarized first is getting repolarized first. Inside becomes negative, outside becomes positive. Now electrical vector, as we said, will point from negative to positive. Right? So this region was totally depolarized. So outside was negative, inside was positive. The electrical vector will start point when this region getting repolarized. The electrical vector will point in this direction. So you will get a downward deflection for repolarization. When the depolarization is occurring in case of A in this direction, repolarization is also occurring in the same way. The region which got depolarized first is getting repolarized first. Then the electrical vector is in the opposite direction. We are getting a downward deflection. Yeah, because the recording electrode, this is a positive recording electrode, is seeing the electrical vector going away from it. Positive, this is the positive recording electrode, is seeing the electrical vector going away from it. Now, think about other case where repolarization is occurring in a tissue where, suppose the repolarization starts where the depolarization was last. You can see my pointer. This is the chat box. Please write in the chat box. Can you see the pointer? Okay, please follow it. Now, take a case where, second case, where the region which got depolarized last, that is this region, starts getting repolarized first. So what happens is this figure C will get totally inverted. So this arrow will be in the opposite direction. This arrow will be in this direction and this electrical vector will be in this direction. So in that case, the repolarization wave will be in the positive direction. It will be the same direction as the depolarization wave. So remember these 2 points. The direction in which the depolarization is taken place for a particular lead or electrode, you have positive wave. And if the repolarization occurs in the same direction, the repolarization wave will be in the opposite direction. But if the repolarization occurs in the opposite direction, that is, the region which got depolarized last is getting repolarized first, then you will have a positive wave as same as the depolarization. Just keep that point in mind. Now let us take another case. This recording electrode is in the center here, and it is seeing the vector depolarization coming towards it. Then it will give you an upward deflection. Then the repolarization going ahead, depolarization going further, it will give you a downward deflection because electrical vector is moving. It's like a Doppler phenomenon. The train is coming towards you, you find the sound increases, and it moves away from you, the sound wave goes down. Let's go to the next slide. So the pattern of activity will depend upon the electrical vector, direction of the electrical vector, and the electrode, the orientation of the electrode. If the electrical vector is coming towards it, then it will give you upward deflection. If the electrical vector is going away from it, it will give you a downward deflection. Now let us look at the electrodes, where these electrodes or leads are located, and the wave of depolarization and the electrical vector. If the wave of depolarization is moving away from the recording electrode, it will give you a downward deflection. If moving towards the recording electrode, it will give you an upward deflection. If it is in the center, then it will give you sort of biphasic, which is towards the sides. It might give you it other different forms. So the amplitude will vary depending upon the direction of the electrical vector, the wave of depolarization, and the orientation of the electrode, where the electrode is. Clear? Okay, let's go further. Be with me, please. Now, I told you about two cases. Both cases are here. When the depolarization is spreading in this direction, the electrical vector is in this direction, you get an upward deflection. Here, the second case, where the repolarization is occurring in the region which got depolarized last. Result is repolarization wave is also upward. Okay, because the electrical vector will be in this direction from negative to positive. Why I gave you two conditions here? Because the two conditions will be seen in case of atria and ventricles. In case of atria, the depolarization, the region which got depolarized first is getting repolarized first. So normally in atria, atrial repolarization, P wave is seen. The atrial depolarization, P wave is seen. Atrial repolarization wave is normally not seen. But if it is seen, it will be in the opposite direction of P wave. Okay. And in case of ventricles, the depolarization wave QRS complex is seen, but T wave is also seen in the same direction as QRS complex. Because in case of ventricles, the depolarization, just remember this point, we'll come to this point again. The depolarization spreads from endocardium to epicardium, and the repolarization occurs from epicardium to endocardium. Okay, that region which got depolarized last, that is first. That is why the P wave, QRS complex, and the T wave are in the same direction. Okay. Let's remember the recording upward deflection or downward deflection will depend upon the direction of depolarization, the direction of the electrical vector, and the orientation of the electrodes. If the electrode is seeing that the depolarization is coming towards it, the electrical vector is coming towards it, then it will give you an upward deflection. If the electrode is saying that the electrical vector is going away from it, then it will give you a downward deflection. This we already seen. The instrument is brief history also we have seen. We'll jump through this. Wilhelm Intuan was the one who invented. This is a Intuan, which is considered as electrodes. Their electrodes they are not the leads. He gave the lead system, lead 1, 2, and 3, the bipolar limb leads. The electrodes are connected to right arm, right leg, left leg. Right leg is the ground of the individual. And the inverted cup-like electrodes which are placed on the chest. I'll explain to you again this later on. Last class we have summarized this. The recording paper is a special thermosensor sensitive paper. When the heated stylus moves, touches the paper, and the paper is moving, the paper is moving at chart speed of 25 millimeter per second. You get the recording. Last class we also seen this. Chart speed is 25 millimeter per second. Calibration is 1 millivolt signal, 10 millimeter deflection. As chart speed is 25 millimeter per second, each small millimeter in the horizontal axis corresponds to 0.02 seconds. And vertical axis 10 millimeter deflection is 1 millivolt. Small 1 millimeter deflection is 0.1 millivolts. Now let's come to the arrangement of leads. Now there are two types of leads, bipolar leads and unipolar leads. You see, we are connected electrodes to the two limbs, lead right arm and left arm. They are electrodes. One is positive electrode, one is negative electrode. The difference in potential between these two electrodes correspond to one lead. Please remember this. Lead is difference in potential between two electrodes. That is, it records difference in potential between two electrodes, gives you one lead. You cannot have a recording with just one electrode. Even your chargers, which you are using to charge your mobiles, have two sort of leads which goes into the sockets, okay, to complete the circuit. So similarly, for a recording to take place, you need two leads. That will complete the circuit. One will be a positive electrode, another will be a negative electrode. When one electrode is positive electrode and another is negative electrode, and you're recording difference in potential between these two leads, it is called as a bipolar lead. When you have a lead which is an active electrode and another electrode, the second electrode which is a negative electrode, is of a potential 0 or of a potential which you know, which you can call it as a reference electrode, then that electrode is called as, that lead is called as a unipolar lead. A bipolar lead and Y, two electrodes X and Y. So difference in potential between X minus Y equal to Z is a bipolar lead. A unipolar lead is if an electrode is X minus 0 equal to X. That is a unipolar lead, a zero potential, or a reference electrode whose potential you know. Then it will be X minus that reference electrode equal to a definite number, which is X. Usually, we reference electrode we consider it as zero potential. Okay, so that is, it will give you x minus 0 equal to, okay, that is the reference electrode. Now, so you have two types of lead system, bipolar leads and unipolar leads. In normal clinical ECG, last class I told you 12 leads are used. 3 standard bipolar limb leads, lead 1, 2 and 3. Their leads are 3 augmented leads, AVR, AVL, AVF, they are unipolar leads, and 6 unipolar chest leads, precordial leads, V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6. I'll tell you in detail. Now, please listen to carefully and be with me. What is lead 1? Lead 1 is difference in potential between left arm and left leg. Sorry, left arm and right arm is lead 1. See the charge. Left arm is positive, right arm is negative. Okay? Lead 1 is this, right, left leg and right arm. Difference in potential between left leg and right arm. Okay? Positive end is the left leg, negative end is the right arm. Lead 3 is left leg and left arm, where positive end is left leg and negative end is left arm. This is lead 3. Now, if you look at it very carefully, I have given you some degrees also. This is 0 degree. From this, you draw an arrow of 60 degrees. This is lead 1. This will be lead 2. Then this is lead 3, 120 degrees. Yeah. So it forms an equilateral triangle. This triangle is called as Intone's triangle. It's called as Intone's potential between left arm and right arm. Lead 2 is difference in potential between left leg and right arm. Lead 3 difference in potential between left leg and left arm. Okay. This is an Intone's triangle, an equilateral triangle. Now, if we observe it very carefully, it's a closed circuit. It's a closed circuit. In school, in 12th, we have studied in a closed circuit. If you have a closed circuit, what is Kirchhoff's law? It's a Kirchhoff's law. You remember Kirchhoff's law? Anybody? In a closed circuit, I'll come back to the second case again. Don't worry, Jamil and Rushil. What is Kirchhoff's law? In a closed circuit, I think I should unmute you people. I'm unmuting, but you will also. Yes, Jaibil, right. Net current is 0 in a closed circuit. Net current is 0. So this appears to be more like a closed circuit. Right arm, left arm, and left leg. Okay, this is a closed circuit. But the thing is, if you look at it very carefully, Intone had played a trick here. If it was a closed circuit like this, it should be, right, RA plus LA plus LL equal to 0. The equation should be like that. But what Intone did, instead of connecting like this, he follow my pointer from negative to positive this, then negative to positive this, then this should have been negative and this should be positive. Inverted this polarity of this lid. He inverted the polarity. The result is, instead of the equation becoming left arm plus right arm plus left leg equal to 0, the equation has changed into left arm. Can you write the equation? Left arm plus क्या होगा इक्वेशन? Left arm the equation will be minus RA हो जाएगा. और if you put it in lid terms में डालेगा ना, तो lid के हिसाब से डालेगा तो you will have lid 1 plus lid 3 minus lid 2 equal to 0, or lid 1 plus lid 3 equal to lid 2. That is called as Hinton's equation. This is lid 1, this is lid 2, and this is lid 3. Because the polarity has interchanged, why the polarity has interchanged, I'll tell you later. He was very smart enough to do this. There's a reason behind it. You may not find it in your books. The lid 1 plus lid 3 is equal to lid 2. That is Hinton's equation. What it means is, if you know the potential of lid 1 and lid 2, any of the two lids, you can know the potential of the third lid. That's what it means. Okay. Now, the standard limb lids records in the frontal plane. The standard limb lids will record in the frontal plane. Lid 1 plane. Just remember this point. We'll come back to this again. Okay. So you have 3 standard bipolar limb lids. They are Hinton's lid. Hinton had given this lid system and still has been followed, where lid 1 is differential potential between left arm and right arm. Lid 2 is differential potential between left leg and right arm. And lid 3 differential potential between left leg and left arm. As it's a closed circuit, right arm is equal to left arm plus left leg, or lid 2 is equal to lid 1 plus lid 3. Augmented lids, AVR, AVL, and AVF. Now what this augmented lids? Augmented means the amplitude is increased. Actually, previously there was VR, VL, and VF. That was the unipolar lids. Goldberg and they modified this lid system and formed a new lid system, which is called AVR, AVL, AVF. What they did was, they modified in such a, that is AVR amplitude recording will be almost similar, but the AVR ka QRS complex amplitude will be 1.5 times that of VR. See what VR was, if you will go back to the previous slide, if you connect all these 3 electrodes, right arm, left arm, and left leg together, as per Kirchhoff's law, the potential should. VR was what in VR what was done was, you had one electrode connected to left arm, let us say, or VL. VR means right arm. Let us say one active electrode, positive electrode at right arm, and the reference electrode was combining all right arm, and left leg together forms one reference electrode. So you have two electrodes, positive electrode at right arm, combining right arm, left arm. So right arm minus this 0 equal to right arm. That is was VR. Okay. Similarly, you could get VL and VF. VF is the foot. So that was original VR, VL, and VF. But they modified it a little bit. What they did was, instead of connecting all the three electrodes together, when it is recording AVR, right arm will be the positive electrode and the negative electrode will be, they removed the right arm from it. Okay. The result is, it will give you 1.5 times of RA. You can actually do it mathematically. If anybody can work out that equation, RA and RA, what you had this equation, LL, LA plus LL minus RA equal to 0. You put that into VR and start working out. You will get AVR is 1.5 times of VR. I don't have much time, otherwise I can write it on the board and show you. But, in the next class, I will give you a slide on that. In case of AVR, the positive electrode is right arm, negative electrode is difference in potential between these two. AVL is, positive electrode is the left arm and negative electrode is difference in potential between the right arm and left leg. AVF is, positive electrode is the left leg, negative electrode is difference in potential between these two. This slit is called as Goldman's or Goldberg slits, Goldberg's augmented lids. That when all the three lids are together connected and potential is 0, it is called as Wilson slit. Probably in the next slide, it's called as Wilson slit. So this is augmented lids. Augmented means is 1.5 times of VR. Okay, so what we are seeing, standard bipolar limb lids and augmented lids. The augmented lids also records in the frontal plane. Lid 1, 2, and 3, standard bipolar limb lids, and 3 augmented lids, AVR, AVL, AVF, they all record in the frontal plane. So the frontal plane lids are lid 1, 2, and 3, and AVR, AVL, AVF. They record in the frontal plane. You have this triangle, equilateral triangle, lid 1, lid 3. If you mark the center here, point has 0, and bring all this together, you'll get 3 axes, 0 and 160-degree axis and 120-degree axis. Then what you do, from that center point, you draw one axis to AVL, AVR, arrow points towards the positive end, arrow of it always points towards positive end, and AVF. Okay, there AVF is 90 degrees, this will be minus 30 degrees, AVR will be 60 degrees. Thus, we'll come to that later. Now let us look at the 6 unipolar chest lids, their location. heart is centrally placed. The 6 unipolar chest leads V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6. Unipolar means one is a positive electrode, the recording electrode, the negative electrode is of zero potential. So if you connect all electrodes, right arm and left leg together, it will be zero potential. Okay. So V1 is located in the fourth intercostal space, right side of the sternal border. V2 is located in the fourth intercostal space, left side of the sternal border. V4 is in the fifth intercostal space, corresponding with the mid-clavicular. V is between V2 and V4. V5 is fifth intercostal space, corresponding with the anterior axillary line. And V6 is fifth intercostal space, corresponding with the mid-axillary line. I repeat, V1 is fourth intercostal space side of the sternal border. V2 is fourth intercostal space, left side of sternal border. V4 is fifth intercostal space, corresponding with the mid-clavicular line. V3 is between V2 and V4. V5 is fifth intercostal space, corresponding with anterior axillary line. And V6 is mid-axillary line. Okay. Now, chest lead, potential the exploring electrode, that is V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6, and central terminal, the Wilson's terminal, which is at zero potential. This unipolar chest leads records in the horizontal plane. It will record in the horizontal plane. Lead 1, 2, and 3. Lead 1, 2, 3. AVL, AVR, AF, they record in the frontal plane. This unipolar chest leads records in the horizontal plane. Clear? Be with me, please. It will record in the horizontal plane. V1, V2 will be looking more at the right side of the ventricle, right ventricle. V5, V6 will be looking towards the left ventricle. V3, V4 will be looking at the septal regions. See, the recording all looks different. Now, last class, I showed you this figure, but I didn't explain to you. Now, why you need this 12 different lead systems? We have 12 leads, 3 standard bipolar limb leads, lead 1, 2, and 3. 3 augmented leads, AVR, AVL, AVF, 6 unipolar chest leads. The limb leads records in the frontal plane, unipolar chest leads record in the horizontal planes. Why do you need so many leads? It's like looking 6 blind men looking at the elephant. Here there are 3 blind men looking at the elephant. Or 3 men with eyes looking at the elephant from that point of view. Heart is a 3D organ, 3-dimensional organ, located centrally placed at an angle, and the electrical activity generated as a node connected to AV junction and towards the apex of the heart. It is going in a 3-dimensional pattern, electrical activity. Now, each person is looking at this element. They can see only part of it, cannot see the whole figure. Similarly, the leads are connected at different locations, are looking at the same electrical activity. In the definition of ECG, we said it's a graphical representation of electrical activity of heart during a single cardiac cycle. The impulse generated SA node move towards the AV junction and cause a depolation of the heart. Now, if you have the AVR located here, the right arm, AVR located at the right arm, the apex of the heart is here at 60 degrees. The impulse generated at the SA node is moving towards the apex of the heart here. The lead 2 will see the activity coming towards it. Right arm will see that. So you need all these leads will record the same electrical activity from their point of view. So you are getting a recording of the same electrical activity from each different points of view. Each lead corresponds a point of view. Okay. So each lead will have some activity marked prominently. If there's some not. So you have frontal plane leads and horizontal plane leads, giving you a three-dimensional view of the heart. AVR, AVL, AVF. Lead 1, 2, and 3. Lead 1, 0 degrees. Lead 2, 60 degrees. Lead 3, 120 degrees. AVL, 90 degrees. Sorry, AVF, 90 degrees. AVR plus 150 degrees. In the frontal plane leads. Horizontal plane, you have V1 to V6 of the body, left side and right side. Gives you a spatial relationship. So it brings us to a hexaxial reference system. Reference system. I'll send you the Nazia Sheikh, please unmute yourself. So this system will come back to this when we try to find out the axis of the heart. The mean electrical vector represents sum of all the individual vectors. You see, when the impulses are generated as a node conducted to the atrial musculature, it will be spreading in all directions. It will be conducted in all directions. Resultant vector will be in one direction. I'll take few more minutes. Please be with me. This is normal ECG waves. QRS complex, T wave. They have intervals, PR interval, QT interval. We'll look at each of these next class in detail. I'll just want to start the activation, so be with me for another 5 minutes and please be with me. The impulses which are generated at the SA node is conducted towards, it causes depolation of the atria and reaches the AV junctions. So the electrical vector is in this direction. AVR is located here and lead 2 is here. So if lead 2 is here, you will have a P wave like this, and in case of a negative deflection, in lead 2 you will have positive P wave, in AVR you will have negative P wave. Okay, this is P wave atrial depolarization occurring. The ventricular depolarization, what happens is, after the impulse reaches AV junction, it goes to bundle office, bundle branches. In bundle branches, right bundle branch and left bundle branch. In left bundle branch, I told you there are two branches, anterior branch and posterior branch. The posterior branch, septal branch arises. So mid-ventricular septum. So in ventricles, the depolarization starts in the mid-ventricular septal region and will go down. So a small septal depolarization is taking place. You'll get a small Q wave. It may not be seen in all the leads. In some leads, it will be seen. A small Q wave will be seen. This is because of septal activation. Okay. Then polarized electrical activity in this direction. The electric depolarization is spreading from endocardium to epicardium. The depolarization is spreading in endocardium to epicardium. So the depolarization is in this direction. So you have a positive P wave. Positive R wave, sorry. Positive R wave. If it is AVR, AVR will located it here. P with the pointer. AVR will, it will give you a negative R wave. Lead 2 will give you a positive R wave. So activation of major portion of ventricle myocardium occurs. Late activation of the ventricles is occurring of those upper septal regions. These regions it will occur, and that will give you an S wave. An S wave. Then the repolarization of the ventricle, T wave. I told you in case of ventricle, the repolarization spreads from epicardium to endocardium. It spreads from epicardium to endocardium. So as it is moving in the opposite direction, repolarization, the electrical vector will be in this direction. So as electrical vector is in this direction, you have a positive T wave. A positive T wave in the same direction as the QRS complex. Is R wave. In case of AVR, you will have a negative T wave because the electrical vector is in the opposite direction. Okay. Not same because atrial repolarization occurs at a time ventricular depolarization is occurring. QRS is a major event, so it overlaps it. This figure is taken from Dr. G.K. Pal's book. I should thank him for that. It will be there with you. So, during atrial depolarization, you have P wave, septal activation, you have QRS complex. Then later regions of repolarization, pulmonary coronary regions, and you have S wave, and repolarization spreading from epicardium to endocardium, you have T wave. Okay, I think I'll stop here. I'll stop here because already time. Just I'll take 2 minutes. Some people have asked me about not understanding that figure, because go back and try to understand it again. I'll try to send the slides today again to the same people, so I can share it with you in your WhatsApp. See, as the depolarization, the electrical vector will point from negative to positive. This direction will get an upward direction. This is a positive is a recording electron. So you get an upward deflection. The region which got depolarized first is getting repolarized first. So as it gets repolarized here, inside becomes negative, outside becomes positive. Electrical vector outside will point from, so it will give you a downward deflection. But in case of ventricles, what happens is this region which got depolarized first is getting repolarized first. So it will become negative here, positive here. So what happens is the electrical vector will point in this direction. It will be electrical vector will be also in this direction. The positive will be here. So you get, you can also explain it in a different way. That is, with respect to depolarization. The depolarization is moving towards you, you will get for deflection. If repolarization is moving towards the recording electrode, you will get a downward deflection. If repolarization is moving away from the recording electrode, you will get an upward deflection. Okay, I'll stop here. More next class, please try to understand this topic again, read the topic and come again.